Students, welcome to lecture number 7, where we will be covering module number 2 under subject financial management. So module number 2, we are dealing with time value of money, where we have already seen the meaning of value of money under lecture 5, what is simple interest and problems on simple interest in lecture number 5, and compound interest and problems on compound interest in lecture number 6. So today we will be seeing what is future value of single cash flow and annuity. So how to calculate future value of single cash flow and annuity, and today we will be covering problems on future value. So students, as we know that time value of money is the value of money keeps changing with time. Now, in order to know the changed value of money with time, we are using two techniques. That is discounting techniques in order to know the present value in case we have future value in hand, and compounding technique. Compounding technique you will use when you want to find out the future value if the present value is given to you all. So today we will be seeing the compounding techniques, and with the help of compounding techniques, how do we calculate the future value if a present value or present sum of money is given to you all. Now, compounding techniques, let us see how to solve it. Students, remember this, whenever you want to calculate the future value, you are going to use the compounding techniques. Now, future value can be future value of a single cash flow. Now, first of all, what is the meaning of this? Students, suppose today I deposit certain amount in the bank. So, suppose I deposit rupees 15,000 in the bank, and I want to know what is going to be the future value after 10 years. So 15,000 I'm depositing today in the bank. I want to know the future value after 10 years if the rate of interest is 10%. Now, 15,000 I am just depositing only once. That is, there is only a single transaction that is made in respect of cash flow. So there is a cash outflow from my side of 15,000, which I am depositing it only once. So future value of single cash flow means how to ascertain or calculate the future value if there is only a single or one time cash outflow. So what example I have given you all, that 15,000 is deposited in the bank, and for 10 years, what is going to be the value of 10 years? So it is called to calculate the future value of a single cash flow. Why it is called single? Because 15,000 there is an outflow only once. There is an outflow of cash happening only once. So in the entire n period, when I say n period, means in the entire number of years, if the flow of the cash, it can be inflow outflow, is happening only once, then it is called single cash flow. And then there is a separate formula to calculate the future value of a single cash flow. Next, future value of a multiple unequal cash flow. So just continuing the example which I gave you all in single cash flow, like I deposited 15,000 in the bank today for 10 years. Again, in the second year, I deposited 20,000 in the bank for again 10 years. For then again after 3 years, I deposited suppose 25,000 in the bank for again certain number of years. So what is happening here? The cash flow is not once. Here the cash flow is happening multiple times. When I say multiple, means more than once. Okay, the cash flow is happening. Now, is the cash flow amount equal or unequal? Like first I deposited 15,000, then I deposited 20,000, then 25,000. So the value that I'm depositing each time is not the same. It is unequal. That is the time it is called as multiple unequal cash flow. So now whatever amount I'm depositing in different years, what is going to be the future value at the end of 10 years? That is this is the part that will help us to understand how to calculate the future value of a multiple unequal cash flows. And the second last part is future value of a deferred annuity. Now, already in a previous lecture, we have seen annuity is nothing but series of equal payment. So just continuing with the example that I gave for point number 1, like 15,000 I'm depositing today. Okay, again in the next year, second year, I'm again depositing 15,000. Third year, I'm depositing 15,000. Fourth year, I'm depositing 15,000 for a period of 10 years. So here what is happening is, annuity, as you all know students, the definition, the meaning of annuity itself is equal cash flow. So when the same amount is being invested, being deposited, being saved, okay, for n number of years, n is for a certain time period, it is called as deferred annuity. And deferred annuity means you're depositing, you're saving it, you're investing it at the end of certain period. End means it can be end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the year. Okay, so when in any problem you ascertain that it is a deferred annuity, and how to calculate the future value of deferred annuity we will be seeing in the succeeding slides. Next, future value of annuity due. Annuity due is same as deferred annuity. The only difference is the deposits, savings, or payments will be happening at the beginning of the period. When I say beginning, that means beginning of the month, beginning of the quarter, beginning of the year, beginning of the day. The amount will be either there will be an outflow or inflow of cash. Then how to calculate the future value of annuity due? So students, just remember, in calculating the future value, this all can be the possibilities asked in your exam. Either they can ask you how to calculate future value of a single cash flow, how to calculate future value of multiple unequal cash flow, of deferred annuity and annuity due. So when any problem is given to you all, first thing you'll need to ascertain that under which category it is falling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you know that it is to calculate, suppose, the future value of multiple unequal cash flow, then you have to just use the formula which I'm going to teach you all in this, how to calculate future value of multiple unequal cash flow, and you will get the answer. So now step by step, let us go to see what are the formulas in calculating each of the future value under different situations. Now first, how to calculate future value of a single cash flow. Single cash flow, again I'm repeating, means there is a payment or there is a receipt which is happening only once. Okay, the amount is deposited or it is received only once. So suppose if they have given, and that amount will be a present value. So how to calculate the future value of single cash flow? The formula is very simple, which we have already seen in compound interest as well. It is nothing but future value is equal to present value in the bracket 1 plus r raised to n. Now when I say future value, it is also denoted by letter A, alphabet A, and present value is also denoted by alphabet P. So this formula is same as we have seen in case of how to find out the compounded amount in case of compound interest. So again, I'm repeating, if they ask you to calculate future value of single cash flow, that means future value is equals to present value in the bracket 1 plus r raised to n. Now where the future value, FV denotes the future value, PV denotes the present value, R is the rate of interest, and N is the period or number of years. So this is the formula in order to calculate future value of a single cash flow. Next, how to calculate future value of a multiple unequal cash flow. So students, suppose 3 years is given, and like in 3 years I told, the first deposit was 15,000, second year deposit was 20,000, the third year deposit was 25,000. So individually for 15,000 you have to calculate the future value. Individually for 20,000 you need to calculate the future value, and individually for 25,000 you need to calculate the future value. You sum up these three. That means you add the future value of first year, second year, third year. When you add it, you will get the future value of multiple unequal cash flow. So future value is nothing but, in case of unequal multiple cash flow, is summation. When I say summation, means you have to add up. Summation of PV in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. So in short, this is nothing but single cash flow, but you are taking a addition or sum of all the multiple unequal cash flow to get the future value under multiple unequal cash flow. So once again, I'm repeating what is the formula. The formula is nothing but you have to add up all the individual unequal cash flow. When you add up, you will get the multiple future value which you will get after adding up PV in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. You will better understand the formulas when you practically solve the sums. But you have to just remember the formula that you have to apply. So again, where the future value FV denotes the future value, PV is the present value, R is the rate of interest, and N is the period number of years. And this formula, if you'll remember, it is same formula as we have used in compound interest. That is to find out the compounded amount. Next, future value of annuity. Now in annuity, we know that there are two types of future value which may be asked. That is future value of deferred annuity and future value of annuity due. When you have to use this particular formula is whenever you are observing in the problem that cash flow is either there is outflow, inflow of cash flow at the end of the period and annuity due at the beginning of the period. So you have to carefully select the formula before solving the problem. Now, if you have to calculate the future value of a deferred annuity, the formula is future value is equals to A into future value annuity factor I comma N. Now, what is the meaning of this? Let me just explain. See, A here means the annuity, or you can also replace it by the cash flow. See, what is the meaning of annuity? Series of equal payments. So suppose every year you're depositing 15,000. So here 15,000 will come. So A here is representing the annuity. You can replace this A by also CF. Now CF is the cash flow. So why? So I've written FV, that is the future value, is equals to A. A is the cash flow, that is the equal amount of cash flow, that is 15,000 in our example, into future value annuity factor. Now, how do you calculate future value annuity factor? Students, annuity is not a single payment. It is a multiple payments or multiple receipts of cash flow. Therefore, for this, you have to use the table. Now, how are you going to use the table? Let me explain. Everyone can see the table, right? Now, yes, everyone can see the table, right? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See here. Table number 1 is for single cash flow. But students, is annuity a single cash flow? No. Annuity is a series of cash flow which is having an equal cash flow. So it is a series of equal cash flow, means multiple equal cash flow. So obviously table number 1 we are not going to use. Next, let us go to table number 2. Table number 2 is to calculate future value of an annuity. So yes, students, we are going to use table number 2 because we are going to calculate future value of an annuity. Now, to calculate future value, see students, the full form of this is future value interest factor annuity. So future value of an annuity you can find out by using I and N. Now I is nothing again but it is R. So remember students, I and R and K all means rate of interest. So some people denoted by R, some people denoted by I, some people denoted by K. So remember I, R and K all means rate of interest. So I comma N, N is the number of years. So with the help of the rate of interest and number of years, you can find out the future value interest annuity factor. So suppose it is 10% for 5 years. So you have to see horizontally the rate of interest will be given, which is also denoted K here. Rate of interest, as I told you all, can be denoted by K, and N is the number of years. So 10% for 5 years, you have to see in vertically the number of years will be given. So 5 years. So corresponding to that, what is the factor? Okay, as per the table, that will be your future value interest factor of an annuity. So it is 6.1051. So it is nothing but, in our example, 15,000 into 6.1051. So you will get your future value of deferred annuity. Again, I repeat, future value of deferred annuity is to be used when there is a series of payment which are equal. So there is multiple equal cash flows which are arising at the end of the period. So if you have tables handy with you, obviously in exam tables will be given. If you have tables with you, there is no worry. It is a very simple formula. Just what you have to write is the series of equal cash flow. What is the cash flows? That is A. What is the annuity amount? What is the amount that you are depositing every month or you are withdrawing every month? Suppose, for example, so A is nothing but the cash flow into future value interest annuity factor. So for this future value annuity, you have to always use table number 2, because it is multiple cash flow. How to calculate this or how to find out this in the table? By using I and N. I is the rate of interest given in the problem, N is the number of years given in the problem. Rate of interest in the table will always be given horizontally, number of years will be given vertically. Just plot it in the table corresponding to that, whatever is the amount digit, that will be your future value annuity factor. You have to just multiply with the cash flow. Now, either you can use this formula, which is very handy if you have table with you, which is very easy, not much of calculation. Or suppose in case you do not have tables, see in this examination tables will be given to you, nothing to worry. But when you are working in some organizations and you all do not have tables with you, then how are you going to calculate the future value interest factor of an annuity? Is this is the formula: 1 plus r raised to n minus 1 divided by r. If you do solve this particular problem, if you solve this particular formula, you will get the same answer which is given in the table as 6.1051. So students, many a times many people do not have problems, or when you attend competitive exams, tables are not provided to you all the time. So even in competitive exams, if you want to find what is the future value factor of an annuity, you can do so by using this particular formula: 1 plus r raised to n minus 1 divided by r. Then these tables are derived. Is this clear, students? So you can see the formula is in the table here itself. 1 plus r. Now I told you again, r is denoted by I, N, I, K or R. Now both means the rate of interest. So it is again 1 plus R raised to N minus 1 divided by R. And the same formula is here: 1 plus R raised to N minus 1 divided by R. So when you solve this particular problem also, you will get the same answer of future value interest factor of an annuity. So students, this is the way you calculate future value of a deferred annuity. Now let us see future value of an annuity due. Annuity due is nothing but those cash flows which are multiple cash flows, which are equal cash flows arising at the beginning of the period. So if they are arising at the beginning of the period, the formula will remain the same, that is A into future value interest factor of an annuity. With the help of, you're going to find this factor with the help of I, which is nothing but R, comma N, which is nothing but number of years. The only addition in this formula is you're going to add 1 plus R. Okay, the only addition is you're going to add 1 plus R. So continuing with the example, it is 15,000 into, we did is 6, we got it as 6.105, the value something. And to that particular value, you have to just add 1 plus R, depending on whatever is the rate of interest. This is the formula to calculate future value of annuity due. Okay, students. Now, either you can use this formula, or if suppose future value factor of an annuity due is not available, that is tables are not available with you all, you can just substitute this table value by this formula. You will get the same value as we get in the table. So that the how to calculate that is same formula, 1 plus r raised to n minus 1 divided by r. You will get the future value annuity factor. But students, in your examination the table will be given, so this so solving by this particular formula is not required since your tables are given to you all. So you can directly find out the value by using the tables. Now, did everyone understand how to calculate future value of a single cash flow, how to calculate future value of a multiple unequal cash flow, and how to calculate future value of an annuity where you have two types of annuity, deferred annuity and annuity due. Once you are thorough with all these four formulas, students, you can find out or you can solve any problem where future value is being asked. So is this clear, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, one more thing, students. It is not necessary that in your exam they just ask you future value. They can give you a problem in such a way where future value may be given, but they may ask you for what is a cash flow. They may ask you that every year how much should be deposited in order to get a future value of suppose X amount be asked. They can ask you any of these terms also. Now, let us see some simple problems on future value. Now, students, initially I am solving the problem separately. Like we seen what is simple interest and we solve problems on simple interest. We seen what is compound interest, we solve problems on compound interest. Today we are seeing future value, we are solving problems on future value. But in my succeeding lectures, I will be also solving mixed problems. When I say mixed problems means you all have to it will those problems will be having maybe to calculate future value, present value, compound value, the simple interest. So you all have to determine and ascertain that what is asked in the problem. Now it is very simple. You all know that I am solving problems on future value. So future value is being asked in the problems. The real point will be when you all will be able to understand that what exactly is asked in the problem, whether to calculate future value or present value, which we will be doing, but in our succeeding lectures once we finished with future value and present value separately. Then we'll be solving problems, that is mixed problems, just to see whether you all are able to understand what exactly is asked in the problem. Now let us start with problems on future value. Okay, is the screen visible to everyone? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you all will feel problems are very easy and all, but when exactly it comes in the exam, it is, very tough to even understand what are they asking for, present value or future value. Okay, so let us start. But to remove that confusion, I am starting it very slowly and taking problems, those problems which first you'll understand the basic of those problems. Okay, now Mr. Rohit invests rupees 15,000 for 2 years. That pays 12% per annum. See, each word is important. When I say invest, means it is today. That is nothing but P. Your 15,000 is nothing but your present value. For 2 years, this is your time period N, that pays 12% per annum. When I say 12% per annum, it is rate of interest which can be denoted by R, which can be denoted by I, which can be denoted by K. Okay. How much will you have, or how much Mr. Rohit will have at the end of 2 years? So after 2 years, what is going to be the value of 15,000 if it is kept for 2 years at 12% per annum? So students, first thing they are asking you is a future value because it is at the end of 2 years. Second thing you have to determine whether it is to calculate future value of a single cash flow, of multiple unequal cash flow, of annuity deferred or annuity due. So can you tell me from these 4 categories, under which category is this falling? Yes, students? Yes?
Annuity, deferred annuity.
Sir, single cash.
Hmm?
Single cash flow.
flow.
It is calculating the future value of a single cash flow. When I say single cash flow, because only 15,000 is deposited, 15,000 has been invested for a period of 2 years, students. When I say deferred annuity, someone gave me the answer as deferred annuity. Annuity is a series of payment, means 15,000 they are keep on paying for 2 years, like 15,000 today, 15,000 in the next year. It is not that case. Read the problem correctly. Mr. Rohit invests rupees 15,000 for 2 years, means only a single amount is deposited for a period of 2 years. So it is a situation where we need to calculate the future value of a single cash flow. Now, what is the formula we have seen to calculate the future value of a single cash flow? It is nothing but future value, that is A, which is again denoted by future value, is equals to P in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. P, as I told you, is given as 15,000. N is 2 years and rate of interest is 12%. Just substitute the figures in the formula, and you know how to solve this raised to power. I have taught you all in your previous lectures. So future value is nothing but 15,000 in the bracket 1 plus 0.12, which is 1.12 raised to 2. When you solve this using maybe a scientific calculator or using table, how are you going to find out? First tell me, students, if I have to calculate this using a table, which table number should I opt for? Table number 1 or table number 2? Can you tell me, if I have to see this particular value in the table, which table should?
Table number 1.
Table number 1, very good, because table number 2 is for annuity, and annuity is a series of equal payment, but this is a single cash flow, so you're going to see table number 1. And always remember, table number 1 or 2 and 2 stands for calculating the future value, and table number 3 and 4 is for present value. So just remember, we are just doing future value, so table number 1, single cash flow. Now, what is the time, what is the time period? 2 years, rate of interest is 12%. So where I'm going to see number of years, I'm going to see vertically, and I'm going to see the rate of interest is horizontally. So 12% for 2 years, what is the corresponding figure? Corresponding factor is 1.2544. So I'm going to write 1.2544 here, multiply this to, I'm going to get 18,816 as the future value. So Mr. Rohit, if he invests today 15,000, after 2 years he's going to get 18,816. So is this problem clear? Students know how to go step by step to solve the problem. First, ascertain in which category it is falling. After that, determine what formula is to be used. Third, solve the problem by substituting the figures in the formula. Is the problem number 1 clear? Yes? Yes, students? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Problem number 2. Okay. Suppose you invest rupees 1,000 today, another rupees 1,200 a year later, and rupees 1,300 2 years later. How much will you have 3 years from today if the rate of interest is 10%? Now, when I say today I'm investing, or tomorrow I'm investing, or 2 years later I'm investing, they are asking how much will you have 3 years from today. Now, 3 years from today is to calculate the future value. So you understood that the problem is on determining the future value. Okay. Second thing, you all have to tell me, students, now under which category it is falling. What future value they are asking, whether future value of a single cash flow, whether future value of multiple unequal cash flow, whether future value of an annuity. So what are they asking? Can you all tell me?
Multiple unequal.
Multiple unequal.
Okay, multiple unequal cash flow. Now, how do we, what is the formula to calculate the future value of multiple unequal cash flow, students? It is summation of P in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. So there are two methods to solve this. Let us see. First, I'll show you this method. Okay. So calculation of future value. First is A is equals to in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. So first 1,000 rupees is deposited for a period of 3 years. In the next year, 1,200 is deposited for a period of 2 years. And in the last year, 1,300 is deposited for a period of 1 year. So individually, you all are going to solve this, students. Individually, you all are going to solve this. And you're going to add up all the future values. Okay, if you add up all the future value, you will get the total future value at the end of 3 years. So total is 4213. Is this clear, students? Because
Yes, ma'am.
what the problem is telling is 1,000 today. So after 3 years means this 1,000 is invested for a period of 3 years. 1,200 a year later. So three years. After 3 years, how much you're going to receive? After a year later is that you have invested for a period of 2 years. And 1,003 years, 2 years later. So 2 years later up to 3 years. What is the period? 1 year. So it is invested for 1 year. Now, suppose now only 3 figures were given. So it was easy for you to solve this and get this particular answer. But suppose if they had given for 10 years, students. So would you solve this individually for 10 different amounts and then add up? It would be okay, but it would be very tedious work. Tedious work means individually for 10 different future values you had to calculate, and then you had to sum it up and get the future value. Instead of that, we have one more simple method. Just pay attention to this one more method, which will give you the same answer, but it is a little easier method in which you can quickly get the answer. So I told you all, consider each particular cash flow as an individual cash flow. So what is the cash flow here? In the first time it is 1,000, second time 1,200, third time 1,300. Okay. Now 1,000 is invested for how many period? For 3 years, because you're investing it today for a period and you want to know what is the value after 3 years. So obviously 1,000 you're investing for a period of 3 years. Now 1,200 you're investing after a year. So after 1 year up to 3 years, what is the difference? 2 years. So you're investing for 2 years. And 1,300 2 years later. So after 2 years later up to 3 years, what is the difference of only 1 year? So 1 year. Now what you have to do, students, you have to calculate the future value factor. Now when I say future value factor means consider this as a single cash flow for each particular year. Consider this as a single cash flow. Now, future value factor, when you calculate for a single cash flow, future value factor for a single cash flow for a period of 3 years, if the rate of interest is 10%. So you go to 10%, okay, for a period of 3 years, which you are going to see vertically, that is 3. So what is the figure you're getting? 1.3310. So you write here 1.3310. Next, 2 years at a rate of interest of 10%. So 2 years at the rate of interest of 10%, you are getting 1.2100. So 1.2100. Next, 1 year at a rate of interest of 10%, which you're getting as 1.1000. So rating 1.1000. So what is going to be the future value, students? Cash flow into the future value factor. Multiply these three. You will get individually what is the future value. When you add up all these three, you will get the future value at the end of 3 years. So there are two methods to solve this. Either you can do this directly with the help of a table. In that table, you have to, in the form of tables, you have to just write the cash flow, the amount invested period, the rate of interest will be common for everything, and the future value factor. But you have to not take annuity year, students. You have to not see table number 2 because it is unequal, and here individually you are seeing. So you have to see table number 1, take the factor, multiply the cash flow with the factor, and after multiplying individually for different years, then you take the total of it. This total will be your future value, which you will have at the end of 3 years from today. So is this problem number 2 clear? Either you can solve it with this method or this method, but this method is little not troublesome in the sense if number of years given investment amount and the number of years for which it is invested is given for more number of years. Like suppose now only 3 multiple unequal cash flows are there, but suppose if they give you 10 unequal multiple cash flows, it will become very tough for you all to solve with this particular formula. Each time you have to do 10 times calculation. Rather than that, you have to just quickly write the cash flows here, amount invested, then from the table get the future value factor, multiply these two, take the total, you will get the future value at the end of 3 years. So is problem number 2 clear, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, did everyone understand why did we take 3 year, 2 year and 1 year? Or why did we take 3 year as n, 2 year as n and 1 year as n? Did everyone understand this? Because this is very important. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now, let us go to the next problem. Problem number 3. You can save rupees 2000 a year for 5 years and 3000 a year for 10 years thereafter. Thereafter means, students, just remember, for the first 5 years, you are saving 2000. Now, once the 5 years gets completed, thereafter you are saving 3000 for the year for 10 years. Thereafter means after 5 years completes, you are going to save 3000 for a period of 10 years. Now, what will be these savings accumulate at the end of 15 years if the rate of interest is 10%? Remember, students, 2000 is being deposited or saved for a period of 5 years. When the 5 year is getting over, thereafter for 10 years, 3000 is getting saved. Now they're telling total how much savings will be accumulated at the end of 15 years if rate of interest is 10%. So students, tell me, what is this particular, what are they asking in this particular problem? They are asking what will these savings accumulate at the end of 15 years. So they're asking you the future value at the end of 15 years. Is this clear? Now, is it annuity or is it, under which category is it falling, students?
Deferred annuity, ma'am.
Yes. Correct. It is falling under the deferred annuity because 2000, very good. 2000 is an equal series of cash flow which is getting saved for 5 years and 3000 for 10 years. Now, what we have to simply do is, you know that the formula for deferred annuity is very, very easy, students. So what you have to do is, presentation is totally up to you all how you want to present the answer. I have presented in the form of the table. See here, rupees 2, first we are going to take the calculation of rupees 2000 deposit saved a year for 5 years. Now, you all told me that it is to calculate the future value of deferred annuity. Now, what is the formula to calculate future value of deferred annuity? Your cash flow into future value annuity factor, which you find in the table by using R and N. Now, R is also denoted by I and K. Now, so future value is nothing but 2000, students, because 2000 is your cash flow which you are depositing every year for 5 years, and future value annuity factor which is found out with the help of the table by using rate of interest which is 10% and N which is 5 years. See, for 5 years, so N is 5 years and rate of interest is given 10%. So again, further solving the problem, future value is nothing but 2000 into. Now, how do we calculate this future value annuity factor? Again, go to the table. Which table I am going to see, students? Table number 1 or table number 2?
Table number 2.
Very good.
Number
So
2.
we go, very good. So we go to table number 2. And what do we need for table number 2? We need 10% for 5 years. Percentage, you see it horizontally. So 10% for 5 years. Years you see vertically. Corresponding to that 10% 5 years. What is the value? The value or the factor is 6.1051. So here you have to write 6.1051. Multiply this 2. After multiplying, you will get future value as 1 12,210.2. Now students, the point or the catch here in this problem is 2000 is being saved for a period of 5 years. Here we have calculated the future value at the end of 5 years. We have not calculated the future value at the end of 15 years. At the end of 5 years, the 2000 whatever is being saved becomes how much? 12,210.2. So remember, this is at the end of 5 years. Now this becomes a single cash flow. Single cash flow, and we have to take this 5 years up to 15 years. So this becomes a single cash flow because after this 2000 there is no savings. For 3000 there is a different calculation which we will be doing. Just remember a scale where from 1 year to 15 years you have to travel from the first year to 15 years. Now from first year to 5 years you have traveled, and the 5 years figure is 12,210. Now this 5 years figure you have to get it up to 15 years. So 5 minus 15, for how many years is this single cash flow again to be invested, students? For a period of 10 years. So this you have to treat it as a single cash flow just to bring this amount up to a period of 15 years. Why? Because they are asking in the problem, what will these savings accumulate at the end of 15 years? Therefore, we cannot leave it at the end of 5 years. We have to bring it up to the end of 15 years. So at the end of 5 years and 15 years, what is the time period? The time period is only 10 years. So consider this as a single cash flow. So again, A, how to calculate the future value of a single cash flow? A is equals to P in the bracket 1 plus R raised to N. So P now becomes 12,210.2. Rate of interest is 10% fixed for a period of 10 years because this is the future value at the period of 5 years. Now from 5 years, we have to take this up to 15 years. So 5 years becomes the present value for us. And up to 15 years, what we have to calculate will become the future value. So once you solve this, okay, you will get the future value of this 2,000 rupees at the end of 15 years as 31,610. 31,670. Have you all understood this portion, students? 3,000 we will see later. Again, I'm repeating, 2,000 is invested for a period of 5 years. So here, what this calculation we did, we took N as 5. So this we got future value at the end of 5 years. But in the exam, in the question, they are asking at the end of 15 years. So from 5 years, this amount of 12,210 has to be again invested in order to reach at the end of 15 years. So when this becomes now a single cash flow for us. So we have taken the formula for single cash flow. We have taken N as 10. Why? Because from the end of 5 years to the 15th year, what are the number of years? It is 10 years at the rate of 10%. After solving this particular problem, after solving this particular formula, we have got the future value as 31,610. Is this part clear, students? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next they are telling rupees 3,000 a year for 10 years. Now 3,000 is deposited thereafter. Thereafter means after 5 years got completed, 3,000 is being deposited every year for 10 years. So see the scale of 15 years. First 5 years you deposited 2,000. Then from 6th year onwards you deposited how much? 3,000 for 10 years. So obviously that will reach to 15 years. We have to make sure that we travel up to 15 years. So how do we calculate the future value in this case? Future value is equals to cash flow into future value annuity factor. Again, it is 3,000 cash flow into future value annuity factor. How do we calculate that? We calculate that by using rate of interest and number of years. Number of years is 10 years. Rate of interest is 10%. Again, we see table number 2, that is 10% for 10 years. That is, you can say it here, 15.9374. So 15.9374, when you multiply this 2, you will get future value as 47,812.2. So what is the total savings that you're going to accumulate at the end of 15 years? It will be 47,812.2 plus 31,670. So see, so the total savings accumulated at the end of 15 years will be 31,610 plus 47,812.2. So total savings you're going to get at the end of 15 years is 79,482.2. Is this particular problem clear? Can anyone tell me why we didn't again treat this as a single cash flow and took it ahead? Can anyone tell me why we didn't do it for 3,000? Yes, students? Yes? Can anyone tell me why we didn't do that?
Don't know, ma'am.
Ma'am, it starts from 5th year to 15th year, that 10-year span only.
Correct, that is only the 10-year span, and already you're reaching the 15th year. So there is, this future value is already at the end of 15 years. Because here it is 3,000 is deposited here for 10 years thereafter. Thereafter means after 5 years. So already this is the future value at the end of 15 years itself. That is why we have not considered this as a single cash flow and calculated it further. Total is, so this is 5 and this is 10. So total this 2,000 is traveled up to 15 years and we have reached to the future value. This is only 10 because the saving of 3,000 a year is for 10 years thereafter. Thereafter means already 5 years have passed. And after 5 years, this 3,000 has been deposited. So already 15 years has been completed for this particular thing. Is this clear, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Everyone it is clear, because
Yes, ma'am.
this is also very crucial. Okay, so today we complete the session for now because we are running out of time and the rest problems will take time. So is today's lecture clear to everyone, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
ma'am.
students. Thank you so much.